Hey guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a recommendations video for some short books. So just in general, on their own, these books are really good, you should read them. But also, you know, maybe they'll be good for readathons, maybe to hit some goals, maybe you just want something quick to read, I don't know. So I'm going to start with the one with the most pages and then go to the one with the least pages, and let's just kick into it. We've got stuff for everyone, hopefully. So starting off with 275 pages, I have The Expedition by Bia Uzma. This is non-fiction about an expedition, as you can probably tell. So basically in the late 1890s, 3 men tried to cross the North Pole in an air balloon, a helium balloon. But 3 days into that, they crashed. Nobody knew what happened to them, and then 33 years later, all of their bodies were found. They had enough ammo, food and clothing to have not died. So there's this big mystery. Why did they die? Why didn't they survive? They had enough of everything to survive. What's going on? And then 100 years after that, Bia Uzma was randomly at a party and started reading the book about these men, and then got very invested and tried to figure out what actually happened to them. So this book is a journey from Bia going through all of the information, all of the things that still exist now, and trying to figure out what happened. It's a mystery, so it's really interesting. It's really quick to read because it's done in a really easy and simple way to read. You have your normal paragraphs and chapters and stuff, but there are also pages with photographs on them. There's also a large section in the middle that chronologically goes through the diaries of all the men and then what happened, and then some information like, oh, they ate this thing here, so possibly they could have got ill from that, and then that could have been a reason, etc, etc. And yeah, it's just really interesting, really quick to read. If you're interested in expeditions or mysteries, then give it a read. Next up, at 263 pages, I have The Size of the Trees by Andrew Smith. This is middle grade, the first foray into middle grade by Andrew Smith. And it's just absolutely wacky and wonderful and silly and just fun. Andrew Smith, just without being dark and gross. So you might enjoy it. So this follows Sam Abernathy, who as a child, when he was 4 years old, he fell into a well and he got stuck there for 3 days. And it tells that story in the past and also now as an 11-year-old, I believe. He's really clever. He's being forced to move up 2 grades at school, and there's all these different things happening. So back in the day, as a 4-year-old, when that bit of the story is told, he meets this random talking armadillo that may or may not be real, and it's just absolutely hilarious and silly. And his name's Bartleby, and he's a troll. And then now he's obviously being forced into going into this higher level at school. His parents are very protective and very like on him. You need to do this, you go into this school, you go into there. And he just wants to be a chef. He wants to cook food for people and just do that and not have to go into all of these older things. He wants to just be able to be himself, be his age, cook some food, and it's a great time. If you like weird and wonderful, if you like magical, if you like to not necessarily know what's real and what's not, then give this a read. It's also hilarious, so that too. Coming in at 228 pages, I have The Contiki Expedition by Tor Heyerdahl. Yes, there are 2 books about expeditions that are non-fiction on this list. Allow it. So this is about the Contiki Expedition that happened in 1947. So Tor Heyerdahl and several other men got on this old raft here that they built themselves, and they were on the sea for over 100 days, and it was trying to prove that people could have migrated back in the day on bits of wood and they wouldn't have just sunk. And it's really interesting. The whole idea behind it, like the hypothesis, is not necessarily true nowadays with science. He was trying to prove that back in the day, before different sort of travel and different modes of transport were created, that people could have gone from South America to Polynesian islands, and that is who they descended from. Now in science we can say that the hypothesis wasn't necessarily true, but what was true is that yes, you could indeed build this raft and sail the ocean and it didn't break, it didn't float away, it didn't sink. So He proved some things, it didn't prove other things, but just in general this is a really great exploration story. It's really exciting, loads of stuff happened. There's sharks, there's people falling into the water, there's storms, there's bits breaking off. So it's really a really fun read and it's really interesting. And yeah, in the end, there's certain people didn't necessarily come from the place that he was saying, but they could definitely have travelled there, even if they didn't land there and stay there and settle there. So it's a fun time to read. So yeah, I totally forgot to do a little sponsor section. So here's a message from one of our sponsors, and then I shall be back with the small short books. Yeah. Monts will tell you, my videos are like catnip. You will want to watch again and again. But just for the cats though. Tasty, tasty content. Coming in at 172 pages, I have The Red Sheet by Mia Carrick. This is a YA contemporary about Brian who wakes up one day and he's just a really great person. He feels like he wants to don a red cape. He's saving kittens out of trees. He's being really lovely. Everyone around him is very confused because before this day, he was a bully. He's just woken up like this. He can't really remember being a bully. He's just woken up and he's a really nice person. And then when he gets to school, he realises that he likes a certain boy, and that is the boy that he bullied a lot. So this whole story is about him trying to become a person that is better than who he used to be. He's trying to show everybody that he's changed. He tries to show with his actions and who he is now that people can change and people can be forgiven, and you don't have to be a bully, you can be a better person. And that's what this book is about. It's also a bit of a romance between them two, so eventually they do kind of figure stuff out. But the way it gets there is treated well. I haven't read this for a while, but I remember it being really good. Next, coming in at 93 pages, I have The Missing Branch by Kay MacLeod. This is part of an anthology series, all set in this same world. The Bulwark is its own series, and then loads of different authors made a little novella in that series, and this is the one from Kay. It is a paranormal romance. It's really weird and twisty and cool, and the end is just like the biggest twist ever, and you won't expect it, and you might hate it, but I love it. So yeah, basically this is about a girl who travels to America because she's trying to learn her family tree, and then there she meets loads of weird, strange people that are acting weird. There's also this little local legend about a witch. There's some creepy stuff going on, and it's great. Like I said, it's a paranormal romance, so there is a bit of romance on the side as well, but I feel like the romance was done really well, especially in such a small book, because normally I can't connect to characters when it's in a novella, but this one I really did. So if you like paranormal romance, read it. If you're not really sure if you like it, give it a go, because it's definitely different to what most people would assume paranormal romance would be. And the end twist though, just saying. And then last but not least, coming in at 79 pages, I have White Knuckle by Stephen Bruce. This is a poetry collection. I'm not a massive poetry fan. Normally I can read stuff and I'm like, I don't really connect it. This is so good, but also trigger warnings for everything. So basically this is sort of a chronological look into Stephen Bruce's life from when he was younger to now, and all the things he went through. He's had a really hard life. There's loads of like mental abuse and physical abuse from his parents. There's a stint of being homeless. There's foster care. There's all these different things in this book of poetry, and every single one is written just so well. It just absolutely punches you in the gut, and it's brilliant. So if you can handle reading about real life horrible stuff that's happened to people in poetry, then it's just definitely worth a go. It's very brutal, it doesn't pull any punches, and yeah, they're just, I can't think of any that I read and thought, oh, that's a bit shit. Every single poem in here was just brilliant. Some of them were absolutely stunning, and I had to reread instantly because I was just like, what, that is so good. So yeah, if you like poetry, and maybe even if you don't, because I didn't know if I liked them, but I do like very dark things, so that's why I decided to read it, and I'm very glad that I did. So yeah, poverty stricken, drugs, violence, all that stuff in here. And there we go, those are my 6 recommendations for small books. So let me know down below some of your recommendations for shorter books, some nice quick reads, or if you've read any of these or want to read them, let me know. And if this is your first video by me, I said that terribly, let's start again. And if this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of my others, and if you continue to enjoy, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye.